Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 28th of December 2023. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover the most important articles from the newspaper. Apart from this, we have included a mapping topic that has been in news today itself. Okay. So the articles that came in newspaper are from different sections. They are from science and technology, Indian polity, Indian society, Indian economy, and other sections of the UPSC syllabus. So let us quickly see the first list of articles that we are going to discuss. So we are going to discuss these topics one by one, and apart from this, we have also listed the syllabus reference, like from which section of the syllabus it is related to. Okay, so we have included that, and so the page number is also mentioned over here. So let us now quickly move to the first topic of the day, which is a mapping topic. Okay, so we are going to cover the mapping related aspects through this particular topic. All right, so it says Tanegashima Island. Okay, so this island, its name is Tanegashima Island. This island has been recently in news. Why it was in news? Because like this is an island from where the Japanese people, right, launch spacecrafts. So in Japan, they have JAXA. What? They have JAXA. What is this JAXA stands for? It stands for Japanese Aerospace Exploration Agency. Okay, so it is like space agency of Japan. Okay, JAXA is a space agency of Japan. So JAXA has recently launched, let's say, one of its mission, which is a lunar mission. So I'm going to discuss about name of the mission also. So basically they have launched SLIM, which is known as a Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. Okay, Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. Okay, which is in short known as SLIM. So they have launched from this island. So that's why this island is in news. And we are going to discuss in detail about this particular mission, SLIM. Okay, SLIM is a component of the mission. Name of the mission is Lunar Polar Exploration Mission. We are going to discuss about that also in detail. So let us understand where is this island located. So if we see over here, right, if we see over here, this is the island which is known as Tanegashima. This is Tanegashima, this is the island. And over here to the southeast of this island, they have Tanegashima Space Center. From here, they launch the satellites, right, into space. And this island has been in news because they have launched SLIM from here. SLIM means it stands for a Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. We are going to discuss in detail about that. But as of now, we need to discuss about the mapping. So we have included other map as well. So over here, let's say this is, these are the islands in Japan. So Japan is a nation which is, let's say, built in the islands. So there are many islands here, over here. But if we talk about this Kyushu Island, this is Kyushu Island. In the South Kyushu Island over here, South Kyushu Island, to the south of the South Kyushu Island, they have this Tanegashima. Okay, Tanegashima is located somewhere here, very south. This is the entire Japan from here till here. These are the islands in Japan. They have, let's say, some big island groups. One of the big island group is Hokkaido, then they have Honshu, then they have Shikoku, and they have Kyushu. Okay, so these are four big island groups. Number one, as we discussed, Hokkaido. Number two, Honshu. Number three, Shikoku. And number four, Kyushu. So these are island groups. And to the south of the Kyushu Island, we have this Tanegashima Island. So if a question comes in the UPSC Prelims exam when they are asking, let's say, on one side they gave name of the island or name of the place, on the right side they will mention the country or region where it is located. So we need to keep in mind that this Tanegashima Island is located in Japan. It's a territory of Japan. And why it is important? Because from here the space agency of Japan, which is known as JAXA, launches the spacecrafts. Okay, so that's the thing. So with this, let us now quickly move to the first topic. And first topic is related to this one. It says, will SLIM revolutionize lunar landings? Okay. So this is a topic which is related to science and technology. We are going to discuss this topic in detail. Let us understand about, let's say, some important components of this mission. Okay. So what is the name of the topic? It says, will SLIM revolutionize lunar landings? Right. So to understand this particular thing, let us quickly understand, let us draw a map, right? Let us draw a map. Let's say this is Earth, okay? This is Earth. And from Earth, we launch spacecrafts that are generally, let's say, like, launched for moon. So we have moon mission. We can have many other missions also. India had, let's say, like, Mars orbiter mission, which is known as Mangalyaan. So that was a different story altogether. Recently, India had Chandrayaan-3 mission. So that was a successful mission. So the thing is, from Earth, what we generally do, we launch some kind of satellites, and these satellites do not directly go to the moon. So generally they are launched. So these things make a revolution and then they go to moon like this. Okay. So the path that they follow is this way. Okay. Let me draw the path for you so that you understand it in detail. Generally, this is the trajectory that follows, right? That our spacecraft follows when it is launched from Earth. And similar trajectory was followed by Chandrayaan-3 of ISRO. Okay, they have launched it. So after coming over here, they have, let's say, like, gone to moon. But they did not directly land on moon. What happened? Means like once they reached on moon, so basically, like, they have done few revolution around moon, and finally they have achieved some kind of orbit and they made a landing over here. But this time what Japan has done, Japan has launched something, let's say, like, from here, and instead of reaching to the moon, it has, let's say, like, acquired a big what we say, big trajectory around Earth. Then it has reached moon, and after reaching moon also it has acquired, let's say, an elliptical orbit. That elliptical orbit will not be in this sense. So let me draw a smaller orbit for you to understand, right? So this particular spacecraft that has been launched by Japan, okay, it is known as SLIM. Let us first understand about SLIM, then we will understand about the trajectory in detail. So what does the SLIM mean, right? What is the meaning of SLIM? SLIM means Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. Okay, SLIM stands for Smart Lander. Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. The Smart Lander for Investigating Moon has been launched by ISRO. It has been launched by ISRO recently. It has been launched by JAXA. Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Okay, so like this is the Japanese space agency. They have launched this thing. So what is this mission all about? Basically, this mission is a component of this LUPEX mission. Okay, it is part of this LUPEX mission. What is LUPEX? LUPEX stands for Lunar Polar Exploration Mission. Okay, Lunar Polar Exploration Mission. So this Lunar Polar Exploration Mission has been launched by JAXA. So this is Smart Lander for Investigating Moon. This is the lander which is, let's say, like, which is going to make a landing on the surface of the moon. But the thing is, this particular, let's say, this SLIM that they have launched, SLIM has taken about 4 months to reach, let's say, like, sun's orbit. What they have done, SLIM, I mean, like, it is a very lightweight, okay? It has weight around 540 kilogram, means like, around 5 to 600 kg of weight, and out of which, let's say, it uses very less fuel. So using very less fuel, a very lightweight, let's say, like a spacecraft has been sent by Japan, and it is about to make landing, right? It is about to make landing on moon. And in fact, it has made, let's say, and in fact, let's say at 1:21 p.m. Indian Standard Time, December 25, Japan's smart lander for investigating moon spacecraft entered into the orbit around the moon, okay? What it has done, it has entered around the orbit of the moon and it is going to make a landing. So if we compare it with the spacecraft that has been launched by ISRO, the ISRO has launched Chandrayaan-3, and Chandrayaan-3 had a weight of around 2,900 kilogram, means like, it was a very heavy, right? It was a very heavy, means like 2,900 kilogram. That was the weight of Chandrayaan-3 that we had launched. And out of them, 2.1 ton had only fuel. I mean, like, the propulsion module that we had. So it had that much weight. So this Japan's space agency, that they have launched this smart lander for investigating moon. So this is, let's say, one thing is it is very lightweight, right? If you launch something that is of lightweight, you need to have, let's say, like, like a lower capacity launch vehicle. Apart from this, it requires lesser fuel, right? And Japan has followed a different model altogether to launch it. What is that model? Basically, they have followed this, I mean, like, they have followed Honman transfer orbit, like, so I'm going to discuss about that thing. Let us compare the moon mission of the two countries. When we talk about Chandrayaan-3, Chandrayaan-3 versus SLIM, okay, versus SLIM, S-L-I-M. Chandrayaan-3, it was launched by Indian Space Research Organization. It was very heavy, right? It was very heavy. Heavy in the sense 2,900, right, kilogram at launch. And if we talk about this SLIM, it has been launched by JAXA. And it had a weight of around 540 kg, means like, less than 600 kg, I think, right? So in this article, they have mentioned about the weight also, okay? They have launched. And over here, let's say, like, on the south pole of the moon, let's say this is the moon, what we have done, we have made a soft landing on the south pole of the moon, okay? We have done a soft landing on the south pole of the moon. And this SLIM is also expected to make a soft landing on the, like, on the moon. What they are going to do, they are going to do a soft landing, okay? They are going to do a soft landing. The trajectory means the path that Chandrayaan-3 has followed from India, right? Like Chandrayaan-3 has followed from India, like, from Earth to reach to the moon was different, and the path that they have followed is different. We have followed a more direct path. It has taken lesser time, about 1 month. They have followed an indirect path that is going to take almost 4 months, right, for the entire mission. And this is heavy in size. It requires more fuel, that is light in weight, that requires, let's say, like, more fuel. So these are the differences between them. And the thing is, if we talk about the orbit that India, like India's trajectory has followed, this thing has followed, we are going to learn about this. So here it is known as, like, we have followed this Honman transfer orbit, right? Homan, H-O-H-M-A-N-N, Homan transfer orbit. This is the orbit that was followed by Chandrayaan-3. And however, if we talk about this Zaxa's newly launched thing. So they are following a different path altogether, and that path is known as fuel thrifty route. Okay, it is a longer route. It is a longer route. They are following a what? Fuel thrifty route. This is a longer route as compared to the route that we have followed. Okay, this is a longer route, and so this took 1 month of time period, and this is going to take in all 4 months of time period. So the thing is, Japan's mission is going to be longer as compared to ISRO's mission, but the thing is, they are fuel efficient, they are lightweight. Ours was heavy weight, and also it was not as much fuel efficient. So these are the things, these are the differences. So over here, let's say it has already reached to an orbit around the moon. Okay, so this is Earth, this is moon. So this is the exact trajectory that we can see. So from Earth we have launched, and it is, let's say from here it is now following this particular trajectory to reach the moon. So this trajectory is, let's say, a very longer trajectory. Okay, because it has been allowed to go over there. So it is going to a far deeper space as compared to, let's say, like ISRO's Chandrayaan 3. What has happened? Chandrayaan 3 that we have launched, it is, let's say, it has reached the moon, and then we have applied brake so that, like, we can change its trajectory. So that's the basic difference. Okay, so JAXA, Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, as we discussed. Okay, so with this, let us now quickly move to another article, and this is, let's say, one of the photograph, right? This is, let's say, one of the photograph of the SLIM, okay, of the SLIM that we discussed. And then this is from where they have launched it. Okay, they have launched from Tanegashima Space Center, which is located in the island that we discussed in the beginning today. Okay, it's a relatively new topic. In future, there will be other articles also on this. So we will discuss in detail then. Then we have another article. It says the quest for happiness in the Viksit Bharat Odyssey. Topic number 2. The quest for happiness in the Viksit Bharat Odyssey. Now let us understand this. What do we mean by Viksit Bharat? Viksit Bharat means developed India. Okay, the Viksit Bharat means developed India. So India aspires to become a developed country. By what time? Right? So India has set a timeline also for itself. Okay, India has set up a timeline for being a developed country. So timeline for India to become a developed nation. Okay, to become a developed nation. So what is the timeline? We want to become a developed nation by the year of 2047. Why 2047? Because on 2027, India will achieve 100th year of independence. Okay, since independence, we will have completed 100 years of independence. So then we want to become a developed country. If we talk about presently, okay, if we talk about the present status of India, presently what happens? India is the 5th largest economy in the world. Okay, 5th largest economy in the world in terms of GDP, gross domestic product. In terms of GDP, India is the 5th largest economy presently, but by the year of 2047, we want to become a developed country, and the thing is, very soon we want to achieve, right? We want to achieve a $5 trillion economy. Okay, we want to achieve a $5 trillion economy, right? That's also an aspiration. But in this article, the author is saying that since we want to become a developed nation, right? Developed nation means we are talking about economic prosperity. So economic prosperity is an aspiration, but are we looking into the happiness of our people? Are we looking into other factors of development? Other factors means, are we looking into the human development index or not? Are we looking into the happiness index or not? So basically in this article, author has compared, right, India's development aspiration with that of some other factors that are important for development. What are those factors? Author has talked about the World Happiness Report. Okay, the author has discussed about a very important report which is known as the World Happiness Report. So recently a World Happiness Report was released. The World Happiness Report of 2023 was released. But this World Happiness Report of 2023 talks about some, let's say, shady or gray areas. What are those gray areas? Is that many developed countries that are developed economically, right, their human, the happiness index is not good. People in those countries are not good. So the World Happiness Report shows many developed nations have poor happiness markets. Some nations have attained both in a balanced way. India is also a crucial because it is ranked 126th out of 137 countries, despite being 5th largest economy. So if we talk about India's rank, in the World Happiness Report, India has been ranked as 126 out of 137 countries in the world, right? So the state of development in India may be, let's say, good because we are the 5th largest economy, but we are ranked so lowly. I mean, we are ranked very less in the World Happiness Report. So author says that we need to focus on the key factors that talk about happiness. Okay, so in this article they have discussed about some of the countries, for example, Finland, Denmark, Iceland and Netherlands. They are the happiest countries in the world. These countries achieve development not as a cost of social disruption. Instead, they have built up social connections and support system. Okay, so this is the thing. This is what they have done. This is what these countries have done. Okay, so author is finally suggesting that a happiness-induced development model for India is more pertinent than current model of mere economic development. Okay, so author is making a clear thing that the development that India wants, right? The development that India wants, this development should be happiness focused. Okay, it should be happiness focused rather than only economic focused. Okay, versus only economic development. Okay, versus only economic development. Author says many of these countries, especially Scandinavian countries like Finland, Iceland, Denmark, Norway, Sweden. So these are some of the, let's say, most happiest country in the world. They are also developed countries, but the thing is these countries have achieved it because they have chosen those paths. They have chosen those paths of development for themselves. Now with this, let us now move to another article. This article is also important. Here in this article, we are going to understand about few factors. It says making health our top priority in 2024. Okay, making health, topic number 3. It says making health our top priority in 2023. Let's discuss about it. So basically in this article, the author has said, talked about NCDs. NCDs means non-communicable diseases. Okay, NCDs means non-communicable diseases. So what are non-communicable diseases? These are those diseases that do not transfer from one person to another person. For example, right, let us discuss about some of the examples of non-communicable diseases. Author has mentioned here. These are cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, cancer, chronic respiratory diseases. Okay, these are cardiovascular diseases, okay, cardiovascular diseases, cancer, diabetes, etc. Cardiovascular diseases means heart related ailments. If you have high blood pressure, so there is a likelihood that heart attack may happen, okay. So these kind of diseases do not transfer from one person to another person. These are known as non-communicable diseases. So in this article, author says that the 2023 Navratri festivities in Gujarat were overshadowed. Means like, they were about to have Navratri festivities, but 10 people have died because of heart attack within a period of 24 hours. So it is, let's say, it is showcasing that, like, our society do not consume the healthy foods, right? We consume those kind of foods that are, let's say, that are at risk with our health. So the author says, like, let us make health our top priority in 2024, okay, 2024. We need to make our health a priority in 2024, and we need to focus on eating healthy foods. And the thing is, the choices that the citizens make in lifestyle, in food and all, these choices must be shaped by the government in such a manner that the citizens in India make healthy choices for their food. So author says that the fact is that non-communicable diseases-led deaths are relatively preventable, and the solution lies in the choices we make in our daily lives, okay. So we need to have healthier option for food, the food that we are eating. So we need to eat healthier food. Then we have another article. This article says growth charts, WHO standards versus India crafted. Now what has happened when we talk about growth, here we are not talking about economic growth, we are talking about human development, we are talking about, let's say, like, prosperity in the human lives. So in this article, basically they have discussed about WHO set standards. So what the World Health Organization has done, it has set standards. These standards are based on multi-center growth reference study, and it it was conducted in 6 countries between 1997 and 2003. These countries are Brazil, Ghana, India, Norway, Oman, and United States. So what has happened in these countries? Basically, in these countries, some research was conducted, some survey was conducted, and they have developed a kind of a standard model that, like, what kind of nutrition is needed by women, what kind of nutrition is needed by children, what kind of nutrition is needed by adult population in a country. So, like, that is the health standard, nutrition standard, dietary standard that the World Health Organization has set for the entire world. But in India, we have set our own standards, and these standards are, let's say, can be considered through the National Family Health Surveys. And National Family Health Survey 5 has been recently released by the government, and this study was, let's say, conducted during 2019 to 2021. According to this, only 12.7% of Indian population meets the requirement of minimum acceptable diet as defined by WHO. So the thing is, the dietary pattern, right, the eating pattern or the nutrients that we get out of consuming food, right, only 12.7% of Indians, let's say, like, meet the dietary pattern that is set by WHO as standards. Since we are not able to meet those standards, what happens? The quality of life as a healthy life is going down, okay, it is going down. And in India, we have a lot of problems. For example, among children, right, among children, we find two major kind of problem, okay, two major kind of problem. One is known as stunting, okay, this is an example of stunting, and other is known as wasting, okay, other is known as wasting. So what do we mean by stunting? Means with increased age of a child, the height is not increasing, okay. When the height of a child is very low as compared to his age, let's say there is a child of 15 years of age, but his height is very low, so he is considered to be stunted. Similarly, if there is a child whose height is so much, right, but the thing is he do not have body weight, okay, that is known as wasting. He might have acquired certain height, but like, he do not meet the body weight requirement. He is so thin, that is known as wasting. So the proportion of stunting and wasting in India is relatively very high. It showcases something related to acute malnutrition. Okay, so in this article they have discussed about, let's say, when we talk about weight for height, which is known as wasting, it showcases acute undernutrition. When stunting happens, it showcases a case of chronic undernutrition. Okay, chronic and acute undernutrition leads to these conditions, and this is prevalent because the dietary pattern do not fulfill the requirement of nutrition. Okay, so what we need to do in this article, the author has talked about the ICMR recommendation. What is ICMR? ICMR stands for Indian Council of Medical Research. So it has constituted a committee to revise the growth references for India, right? So finally the author says that a look at the pros and cons of shifting from World Health Organization child growth standards to a nationally compiled one. Okay, so the author has basically looked into this particular aspect. Means WHO has set some standards for Indian children, for children globally, and India has also set some, let's say, standards for itself. So ICMR has conducted set up a committee, and that committee has done a study, and that committee has, let's say, recommended that there should be some kind of changes into the pattern, right, of nutrition among the children in India, so that the children may be healthy, right, so that children may be healthy. Now we came to another article. It says grow local, eat local. Okay, Bengal farmers hold a celebration of indigenous seeds. Now let us talk about one important thing. So the thing is, like, we know about this particular aspect. What aspect? We know about this green revolution. So India has adopted green revolution. Why? Long back in 1960s to 70s we have adopted green revolution, because we wanted to increase our productivity of farm, let's say, farm outputs or crops. And for those, for green revolution, we have adopted high yielding variety seeds. We have gone for, let's say, uses of fertilizers. We have gone for, let's say, mechanization in the field. Lot of, let's say, steps we have taken. But the thing is, the green revolution, the high yield variety seeds that we were using, right, under green revolution, those high yield variety seeds were not being manufactured in India. These seeds were being manufactured by companies, multinational companies. For example, you might have heard about Monsanto. It's a company that is seed making company. Okay, it's a multinational company. So the thing is, recently what has happened, the farmers from India, from West Bengal, they recently held a celebration related to indigenous seeds, and these seeds are, let's say, made in India, and these seeds will be used, right, in the farms. So hundreds of farmers from different districts brought native varieties of paddy, pulses and vegetables and exchanged traditional knowledge, NGO planning and seed bank at grassroots level. So farmers have met with one another, they have brought their varieties of seed from different places, and they have shared knowledge among themselves. So this is a kind of celebration that people have done. Why it is important to have indigenous seeds? Because the thing is, it will make us self-reliant, right? It will make us self-reliant into the, let's say, farming activities also. With this, we have another article, short article from Indian Economy. It says, Indian banks asset quality improved to decadal high. Okay. So recently what has happened? The Reserve Bank of India has released a report. Reserve Bank of India has released a report, and it has said that the gross non-performing asset ratio of Indian scheduled commercial bank consistently improved in the second quarter. So gross non-performing assets ratio. Now what is this? GNPA. We know non-performing assets. For example, there is a bank. To understand this particular concept, we need to understand, let's say this is a bank. What bank does? Bank generally lends money to customers. Okay, they lend money to the customer. So they lend money. So this money has a principal component that they pay. But the thing is, in return, what customers do? Customer repay to the banks, right, on a timely basis. The repayment has the principal component and interest component. So the thing is, the money that the bank has lent, these are considered as assets because these money are generating, the money is generating profit for the bank in terms of interest. So they are getting their principal also back, they are getting the interest also from the customer back. But the thing is, what happens if the customers are not able to repay the money to the bank? Let's say consecutively for 3 months they are not repaying. So monthly equated, let's say installments or EMIs, equated monthly installments, if it is not repaid, let's say consistently for 3 months, after then it is considered to be a stressed asset. Then later on the banks may categorize that asset as non-performing asset. Bank may categorize that asset as non-performing asset, means they have created an asset by giving by lending money to the customer, but that asset is not performing, that asset is not generating returns for the bank. So recently RBI has noticed that the gross non-performing assets ratio in India has gone down for scheduled commercial banks. Okay, so RBI says higher lending rates, lower provisioning needs boosted banks' profitability and showed up capital position during 2022-23. Right? So this is the thing. So in this article, they have talked about capital to risk weighted asset ratio was this thing, it has also gone up, and recently RBI has taken certain measures and RBI has asked the banks to be cautious before lending. So RBI has put some restrictions also, and it has led to the increase in the quality of asset that the banks are creating, increase in the quality of loans that the banks are giving to the customers. Then at last we have another topic. We'll be quick in covering this topic also. It says robust FPI debt inflows seen ahead of inclusion of bonds in global indices. Robust FPI. What do we mean by FPI? FPI stands for foreign portfolio investment. Okay. So foreign portfolio investment. Now we need to understand this foreign portfolio investment. You need to understand that in Indian economy there are people from outside. Means, let's say there can be people from USA, there can be people from Japan, there can be people from many other countries who may be interested in investing in India, right? So they have different routes to invest in India. One of the route is like, let's say there is foreign direct investment. They can directly invest in certain companies. They can acquire, let's say, more than 50% shares in that company. So like they will be having direct stake in one of the company. Other route is, let's say, they can purchase shares of listed companies from the stock market. So if they purchase shares from the stock market, right, purchase shares of Indian companies, right, from a stock market, so this is going to create their foreign portfolio, right? It is going to create portfolio for those foreign investors. So that is known as foreign portfolio investment. So it is expected that the foreign portfolio investment is going to go up, right? Why it is going to go up, right? It is expected to go up in the early 2024 ahead of the inclusion of Indian bonds in the global indices in June, right? So Indian bonds are going to be included in the global index. Since Indian bonds will be included in global index, so people from outside are expected to invest more in Indian bonds. So government securities are one such category. Okay, when Indian bonds, essentially government securities are included in global index, the Indian bond market is sure to get a fillip in the foreign funds would buy G-Secs in larger quantities. Okay, government securities, these are backed by the sovereign, these are backed by the government of India. So there is less likelihood that the government will be defaulting. Okay, so government will be repaying, right, giving profit to those people who buy G-Secs. So it is expected that when it is going to get listed, right, so in June, Indian bonds are going to be get listed in global indices. So before that, there will be a surge, there will be an increase in the foreign portfolio investment in India. Okay, this is just a news item. You can read it further. So that will be all from my side for the day. Thank you so much everyone for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.